One of the perks of getting to work here on staff is the opportunity to interact with some of the staff kids. Now, I have a huge candy bowl in my office, so go figure, that draws the kiddos to the office. So as soon as the Skinner kids come in, they make a march right for the candy bowl. And then when Judson Fingal comes in, he loves his Kit Kats. That's his go-to. So I know exactly what he's going for. Now, sometimes he also wants hot chocolate too. Now, the thing that I love about hanging out with these kids is they're in their excitement, right? It kind of leads me to revert back to the things I used to do as a little kid, playing with stuffed animals, action figures, and looking at their new shoes. I actually find it quite healthy to revert back to, playing with things and entering their world and interacting with them. Now, while enjoying the opportunity to revert back to that little child is just fine when it comes to interacting with staff kids. However, a problem occurs when we revert back to childish ways in the spiritual realm. While it is totally fine, at least from my standpoint, to give Judson all the Kit Kats he wants all day long, if I, as a grown adult, eat Kit Kats all day long, I'm going to experience some malnourishment. And that is what's going on in the church of Corinth. They are acting like infants. They aren't even able to eat solid foods, and it's threatening the health and vitality of the church. So I'm going to read from chapter 3, verses 1 through 4. Brothers, I could not address you as spiritual, but as worldly, mere infants in Christ. I gave you milk, not solid food, for you were not ready for it. Indeed, you are still not ready. You are still worldly, for since there is jealousy and quarreling among you, are you not worldly? Are you not acting like mere men? For one says, I follow Paul, another, I follow Apollos. Are you not mere men? The problem in the church of Corinth wasn't that they lacked giftedness, it was that they lacked maturity. As adults, they were acting like mere infants. In other words, you know those growth charts you put up in the kids' room to track their growth from month to month? The church of Corinth had the same pencil mark in the same spot for the last year. Their spiritual growth had stunted. They should have been much further up the growth chart by now, but instead they're stuck in need of a growth spurt. They are spiritually malnourished. And in their case, their inability to eat solid foods has led to jealousy, comparison, competition, division, and more. So what kind of spiritual diet are we on? Do we find ourselves regressing back to comparing ourselves to others and being jealous of others? It seems what Paul is talking about here is cyclical in our passage, right? So the Corinthians are not living by the Spirit. So as a result, they are not eating solid food. Since they are not eating solid food, they are quarreling with one another and becoming jealous of one another. As Christians, we are not meant to remain stuck in the same place on the growth chart in life. While it's very natural to have some seasons where growth is harder, we are meant to grow. There is joy in growing. Just as a kid has joy when they're able to look at the next pencil mark on the growth chart, so we have joy when we grow spiritually. What would it look like for you to be intentional about a steady spiritual diet that leads to growth? Where do you want to grow? I want to encourage you to eat the types of spiritual foods that will produce both growth and joy in your life.